Good afternoon. Okay, cool. I'm going to ask everybody to take a really deep breath with me real quick, okay? So just, let me hear it. I want you to sigh now, okay? I want you to take a deep breath, and I want you to sigh. Okay, now I want you to take a deep breath, and then I want you to yell at me some vowel. It can be an A, an O, an I, a U, whatever. Just do it with me. Ready? Go. Okay, good. You're going to have to bring it back later, and I just wanted to make sure that you were primed for it. I'm going to talk today about Sleeper's Clock, a simple protocol for freedom. I call it Sleeper's Clock because it's simply a method of things that I practice and put together. None of them are completely novel. They're little things that you've already heard that are good ideas or good things to do, but they're siloed. I'm going to encourage you to follow a practice that will allow you to lower the barriers to activation in your life, to simply set things into motion and accomplish goals, tasks, dreams you've been talking about for a long time. So the year's 1997, and a formative teacher in my life told me that figuring things out for yourself is the only freedom anyone really has. Now, if the name Lieutenant Gene Ratjack is familiar to you, it's because he's actually Michael Ironside playing Lieutenant Ratjack in the movie Starship Troopers. Science fiction is also very formative in my life. And he set me down this path to explore what is freedom actually. He said it's figuring things out for yourself. So I said, okay, well, I'll figure out what freedom is then. Kind of a chicken or the egg thing. And freedom is power. Freedom is the power to act, think, or feel how you want to without hindrance or restraint. How you want to without hindrance or restraint. And it's an action, so it's a practice. I think of freedom as the practice and marriage between autonomy and activation. And we'll define those terms in a minute, and I'll tell you what I argue about them. So here's a little roadmap so we're all together and you know where we're going. Introduction to freedom, real cool, loaded term, big word. Definition of terms I'm going to be using, what is my thesis, Sleeper's Clock, which is a 4-step method to conquer and master certain aspects of your life to lower your barriers to activation, and then we'll talk about conquering fear, which I think is the final barrier to getting things in motion, and then accessing unbridled sources of energy to show up in your life as a passionate being. So definition of terms, freedom, the power to act, think, or feel how you want to without hindrance or restraint. Autonomy. Autonomy doesn't mean you're an island. Autonomy simply means that you can make informed, uncoerced decisions for yourself. And this is important because when you make informed, uncoerced decisions by yourself, it allows you to show up in your community, and it allows you to show up for other people in a method that is not operating because of external motivations. Rather, you're thinking things for yourself. Activation, that's the whole green light thing. It just means to set into motion. Basically, vision and action, but getting to the and of that sentence. And it's really hard. So we're going to talk about how to get to and. And then passion, I'll dive into it later. I think passion's an incredibly loaded word that people use in a kind of misguided way, if not well-intentioned. So thesis, by practicing autonomy in your life, you will lower the barriers to activation. So what does practicing autonomy look like? That's how we get to Sleeper's Clock. I talk about digital autonomy, social autonomy, physical autonomy, financial autonomy, and they're not linear. They are practices that run concurrent, but I go down them in the steps, digital, physical, financial, then social. Bear with me, we'll get there. So digital autonomy. This one's actually really easy. You get a clock. You get an analog alarm clock. You might think, oh, okay, that's stupid. But actually, there's this really cool study that just came out about cell phone users who use their cell phone as their alarm clock versus people who get analog alarm clocks. And we're looking at a difference of 27 hours a month in how much you're using your phone. People who use their smartphone as their alarm clock spend a disproportionate longer amount of time, leisure time, on their digital technology than people who use an analog alarm clock. Think about it. It's a case of classical conditioning, right? You wake up in the morning, you hear the beep, you swipe to unlock it, all of a sudden you're compelled for the rest of the day to swipe, to scroll, to get sucked into your messages. You don't allow your brain to wake up and say, here I am, world. I'm bored. I'm just getting here. What does my day look like? Already there's this sense of urgency and stress in your life. Or maybe you're just like getting up and you're like, oh man, social media is cool. Oh, Candy Crush is cool. Oh, Clash of Clans, yeah. But those activities waste a lot of time, and your technology is mastering you instead of you saying, hey, technology, you are a tool of mine and you enable me to do incredible things in this world. So take your time, structure unplugged time into your life, and get an analog alarm clock. About mastering your relationship with technology. Physical autonomy is about setting your clock, right? This little ticker you got right here. Everybody knows these three things are good for them, but I want to reiterate it. It's a super important life practice to put good things into your body. I'm not saying you have to give up alcohol, give up sugar, give up flour. I'm not saying you have to do those. I'm just saying you know what good things are. You know vegetables are good for you. You know fruits are good for you. You know, lean meats, lean proteins, all those good things, yes. Eat good things. It's your fuel. You get good things out. Meditation. Meditation is super cool. And what it does to your brain, besides lowering your overall stress levels and all these other things, it actually rewires your brain and allows you to form more connections. It increases your creativity, your problem-solving ability, and your ability to be open-minded about new ideas that come to you for you to absorb. How do you meditate? It's really easy. You close your eyes, you shut up, you take deep breaths, and you focus on your thoughts. You just watch your thoughts. Meditation is about watching your thoughts and letting them go, letting them process and letting them leave. So just breathe, focus on your breath. 10 minutes a day can rewire your brain. It's incredible. Be active. I'm not saying you need to be Olympian. You don't have to be a bodybuilder. You don't have to be a marathon runner. But structure incremental time for physical activity in your life. Walk a little bit more, take steps, and yeah, go to the gym. Or go hiking, go fishing, go whatever, dancing. Dancing's really great. So be active in your life. Master your relationship with your body and mind. Your body is your chess piece for life. Think of yourself as the chess master. Another nerdy thing, but it works. Financial autonomy. Okay, I usually lose people when I talk about financial literacy or money because it's super stressful and not fun. So when I talk about use the clock, financial autonomy, we're talking about understanding timelines and starting early. Your relationship with money should be that of a relationship with like a long-term life partner. It's not about big acts of love every now and then. It's actually about stoking the flames consistently. Small acts of generosity, paying yourself first. Understanding that, a little bit here, a little bit there. I have this firm belief that budgeting is sexy. I think frugality can be an aphrodisiac. Budgeting gives you the information you need to make an informed, uncoerced decision against external capitalistic factors that are trying to suck your energy out of your wallet. Because that's all money is. It's a modicum of energy. It says, I believe that this takes this much energy to get that thing done. I'll give you my money. Don't let things suck energy out of your wallet like willy-nilly, right? Give yourself the tools to understand where you're at. And then go and please Google compound interest, because if you start early, it's incredibly easy to build wealth slowly. You'll be amazed at starting when you're 20 or 25, $300 a month at a negligible interest rate, what that can net you. It's not hard to be a millionaire if you give yourself a really long time horizon. So use the clock to your advantage. Social autonomy, breaking the clock. I actually think this is a really beautiful image. It doesn't show up too well in this light here, but it's this woman climbing these stairs and seeing this disintegrating clock in this dystopian universe. Social autonomy is about making informed, uncoerced decisions about your motivations and expectations. Don't measure yourself against what other people are doing, how good their life looks on Facebook, what kind of race they're running. When people say, like, you're running your own race, I'm thinking to myself, I might not be even running. I might want to pole vault or jump hurdles. I mean, like, what? That doesn't make sense to me as an analogy. What your life is is not pre-scripted. It is an unscripted existence. The social clock is the cultural knowledge that we have to understand milestone and transition events. We should be in college by X day. I should be a lawyer. I should be a doctor. I should pursue this. I should pursue that. Because my family thinks so, my friends think so, my government tells me it's a good idea. You don't need to be an anarchist. You just need to understand your own motivations and why you're doing what you're doing. So, operate from a sense of social autonomy, master your relationship with motivation and expectations from a social perspective. So those are the 4 things. You master your relationship with technology, with your body, you master your relationship with money, and with your society and your motivations. The last barrier I argue that is in your way is truly fear. Fear is a palpable and powerful hurdle. There's another science fiction thing for you guys here. The Bene Gesserit from Dune have a beautiful mantra on fear. They say, I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will let it pass over me and through me. I will turn the inner eye to see its path, and where it has gone, there will be nothing. Only I will remain. Think about that. When you conquer your fear, when you have a practice in life to show up how you want to, and you're not hindered, you're not restrained, there's only fear and there's only you. That's a really powerful place to be. That's when people think, oh my God, anything's possible. And you're still thinking you're not an island. You're doing this both as an act of self-love, because it's an act of healing to take control over your life. And healed people heal other people. Hurt people hurt other people. So think through that as we're going through conquering fear. And then I want to offer to you a passionate plea. I want you to think about the word passion as you've heard it. People say, oh, go follow your passion. Go find your passion. Or they'll tell you, I'm passionate about knitting. I'm passionate about fishing. I'm passionate about rap. I'm passionate about poetry. I'm passionate about whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, what? Wait. Passion is an unbridled, heightened state of emotion that is nigh uncontrollable. When people talk about passion, they're talking about carnal love in the heat of the moment. They're talking about violent acts on the battlefield. Passion is a chaotic force within you. But it can be a fountain of energy for you to show up in the world. If you can control passion and show up as a passionate entity and apply it to tasks at hand, then you don't have to worry about where's my motivation or energy coming from to get things done. You say, what are you passionate about? And you say, well, I'm a passionate person. I live in a state of passion. I apply my passion to things that I enjoy, to things that give me positive feedback. And that's how I think people should think about passion. The final thing to bring it all home and how this all ties together, I believe it's a rising tide strategy. I really believe that when people are practicing life from a place of autonomy and activation, when they say, hey, I have a vision, I have a goal, how can I get there? Well, I've already conquered my technology, I've conquered my body and my brain, I've conquered my wallet, and I've conquered my social expectations. It's time for me to give back. Showing up in the world as a passionate, productive person is contagious. It gets people going. I mean, it's this one thing where you say, hey, I could help you, I can amplify you if you need it. And so it's an amplificatory effect in which the world rises around you as you give back to the world. So to close out, I'm going to help you all find your passion real quick. You already did it at the beginning because people are like, well, I'm not passionate. So let's find our passion real quick. We're going to do what's called a primal scream. And whether you're live casting and you're in your kitchen or in a cafe, that's great. Or whether you're right here in this, I want you all to start in a low rumble with me. And we're going to yell and scream for like 5 whole seconds. Okay? At the peak. Like think of like THX, like sound going up in the auditorium. And we'll do it, all right? So I'm going to turn my mic off so it's not crazy, but That is passion. That is an unbridled fountain of energy that you can learn to cultivate and control to apply to your visions and goals. Thank you.